Welcome back. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin as it is bouncing on critical support right now. We have been following this channel, and there's a couple of ways to draw it. I like to draw the closes. I like to track the closes for my trend lines. Again, I'm no technical analyst, but I like to use trend lines to kind of make decisions in terms of exit, entry, support, resistance, things like that, so I can make my decisions getting in and out of the market on these swing trades. Very different market trading when the market is in decline than it is when you're in an uptrend in a bull market. You can just buy the dips and just hang on. In a downtrending market, a little bit different, buy the dip, sell the rip. So along this area, we've been tracking this channel and looking for continuation into that fuller retracement to see if it's going to roll over at the 618,702, which is that $55,000 to $57,000 range, or if price is going to continue on from there. But right now, it's bouncing on the upper level of this support. And this is why I like to draw the trend lines on the close, is because if you bring it up above to the wicks, it makes a very different type of channel that price could be bouncing in. And we'll take a look at that. We'll draw a parallel channel. So that's the other, that's my fib retracement there. Here we go. The parallel channel is the other channel that we've been tracking in terms of price action from this wick to this wick here, like that, and then down to these wicks here. So that's the parallel channel that Bitcoin's been bouncing in with the wicks. But again, I like to track the other channel. It's not parallel, it's more of a flag or a wedge or a pennant, whatever you want to call it. I like to look at that because it's on the closes, which is what counts. The daily close is what counts, the hourly closes, the 4-hour, whatever price point chart you're looking at, whether it's the 4-hour, whether it's the hourly, it's the closes and the opens that are important. And right now, Bitcoin is finding support on that trend line. So the question is it going to continue right here and then bounce off of that and continue its way up to that other level before then we see, are we going up or are we going down for continuation at those levels? And that would be the 618 to 702, potentially, where we've been tracking for confirmation of further upside. If it breaks this, if it reaches this 702 and then breaks to the upside, that's when you look for continuation to a new all-time high. If it breaks down, then that's when you look at to roll over into that longer, more consolidated bear market type action. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now in terms of the trend that Bitcoin's on. If you look at it on the hourly, you can see that over here the other day where I was looking at a potential of a 20% decline, price dropped in this overall range here about 8% before it bounced back. And of course, we've had Do Kwon buying in there, propping up price. Now MakerDAO says they're going to do the same thing and start printing tokens to buy Bitcoin to back their token. So we could see all kinds of printers going burr here really soon. Even Chair Powell might jump into the game and start printing money and buying Bitcoin. Who knows? But basically, that's what's been going on, is that Do Kwon has been printing cryptocurrency to buy Bitcoin, so artificially propping the price up. And then you have the algorithmic trading algos that jump in and buy and sell based on that price action that's going on. So a lot happening there. The other thing to keep an eye on is the Bitcoin conference. Everybody's talking about that coming up here in the next week or so. But last year, you remember what happened. The Bitcoin conference was right here, June 14th. And of course, that's when El Salvador mentioned or announced Bitcoin purchases, or maybe they even put it on their balance sheet at that point. I don't remember the exact day, but it was around that time. And Bitcoin dropped basically 30% during that time frame. So that was the Bitcoin conference, June 14th. Going into it, everybody was hyping up, and Bitcoin, El Salvador was buying, everybody was hyping up the conference. Bitcoin dropped 30%. And then it went on from there. That was it bounced off of that bottom. That was that first $28,000 bottom, bounced back up 27% to 36,000, and then ultimately set the second bottom in, the final bottom at 20, depending on the exchange, 28, 29,000, and then retraced from there into this let's see what level that was actually where price made it. So off of that low, that was right above the 618. And that's what we're looking for next time, where price rejected, hit the 382, another critical level, and then took off from there, which turned out to be potentially the irregular correction. The question is, a lot of people are calling this the top. The pi cycle top indicator calls that the top, but then we put this new high in. So which one was the top? And then what could you look for this time? So if price kind of did the same thing, it's bouncing around going into the Bitcoin conference. And if price rolled over the same amount of percentage, basically from there down 38%, puts you at the $29,000 range once again. And then price could bounce from there. And if it went to put in a new all-time high from that standpoint, then you could potentially see, if you just base it on what has happened on the last couple of cycles, that was about a 7-8% jump. So if we go 7 to 8% from here, that puts you at about $75,000, somewhere in that price range. And that could potentially be, if you look at tracking the overall channel, the other parallel channel that we've been looking at is from this point to this point here, and then track that down to the bottom there and extend these lines out. So let's take a look at what this looks like and where price could potentially go if you expand this channel out, kind of in that same range. So it takes you up into that 70s, $70,000 price range. So if price continues to kind of bounce around in here and work its way down, bounce back up again, it could do something like that and ultimately reach those ranges going into the end of this year, into next year. And price could potentially just kind of continue along that track. And this could be the new life cycle of Bitcoin going into the future, where price just kind of, now tracks along in that channel and works its way along like that. So we will, let's get rid of these drawings here, continue to just kind of keep an eye on things and see how everything progresses as we go along. But those are the things I'm looking at right now. The Bitcoin conference is April the 6th. It starts in a couple of days. I believe it is Bitcoin 22. Yeah, April 6th through the 9th. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that and see how price reacts. I know there will be some announcements. There usually are. Like last year it was El Salvador and a few other things. I know there's a lot of speculation about Apple putting Bitcoin on its balance sheet or partnering with Strike and all these different things. So we shall see. And of course, with headline risk and potential out there, whenever we get good headline news, price bounces. Let's take a look at, obviously this morning, the NASDAQ is up today because of Elon Musk announcing his stake in Twitter. So that's kind of carrying the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at Twitter right now. Twitter had about a 27% bounce today on that news, and it's continuing on. So right now, looks like Twitter had, about a 30% increase right now, pulled back a little bit. Now it's continuing to push up, kind of carrying the NASDAQ there. And then of course, Dogecoin bounced right along with it, but Dogecoin did turn around and reverse. So interesting how that worked out. Dogecoin had a nice little bounce along with Twitter. Dogecoin bounced 10%, 11%, and that's reversed since then. So a lot of interesting price action going on right now. The big keys are waiting to see whether or not we continue or whether or not price is going to roll over from here, test these lows, and then go back for another run. So we will have to just continue to monitor as we go into the Bitcoin conference and see how things develop. So that is what I'm looking at for now. I will see you in the next video.